And now, live from Pod Cabin in Burbank, California, it's the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Allison welcomes her guest. She's an actress and comedian who is always snatched. It's Jackie Johnson. And he's a musician and lumberman who is sitting here trying to remember what he was about to say. It's Todd Cooper. Tone Zone is here to explain that he is not afraid of AI and is in fact himself AI, that is, always in shoes. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the love bus and say hello to your new best friend, Allison Rosen.
Allison Rosen. Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison, with her the good times never end. Allison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison Rosen. Allison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little caramel frappuccinos. Welcome to another exciting episode of Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon by Jess Flowers. She is my carb czar, which means she sends me a spreadsheet periodically with what carbs were sent in, etc. That's right. I have a cabinet of sorts. Where do czars go? I think they go in your cabinet. That's where I keep her. Anyway, I am on Patreon. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen. I feel like I just said that. But anyway, all sorts of fun stuff. There's a little where you can text me and I will text you back. There's bonus episodes of The Friend Zone. That's my Patreon podcast. I just put up one with Jenna Kim Jones. It was delightful. And if you opt for an annual subscription, you get 2 months free.
That's a good deal.
I am very excited about this group. I would like to say hello. I would like to say hello to Todd Cooper. Hello.
Hi.
And welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
I just saw you.
I feels like finally we're doing this the right way, seeing each other more regularly.
I know.
This is great.
Made a commitment and we are following through. Jackie Johnson, hello.
I have some really unfortunate news.
What?
I have to leave very soon.
Oh, okay.
Because the traffic back is really bad.
All right.
And I have to get home and give my baby a bath.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to leave in like 3 minutes.
All right. Let me just quickly say hi to them and then I'm going to get to the Jackie component of the show. Tony, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
All right, here's the deal. As you guys heard at the end of the last week's episode, we are pre-recording this because of Memorial Day. Jackie has a hard out, but there was a question I was meaning to ask Jackie that I didn't get time to ask her on the last abbreviated episode, so I'm going to ask her now, and then she's just gonna walk out on all of us. She's going to abandon all of us, but it's okay. She has a higher calling. She has to give her baby a bath. I understand.
He's just so nice.
I know.
And he has sunscreen from the weekend on him still.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad not giving him a bath last night.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you do a bath every night?
No, I'm like really neurotic about his microbiome.
Oh.
So we only do 2 baths a week. That'll change as soon as he starts getting dirtier, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I thought we used to do bath every night because it was part of bedtime. But you really don't need to feed them that
I'm not
frequently.
trying to overstrip him.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have a healthy microbiome on that skin. So, yeah. Snatched. It just means like, you know, just there you go. It's right there.
So anyway.
Yes.
Tell us about this celebrity wedding that you went to. I know that for the full story, they have to go to your Patreon.
Yes.
But I do not watch The Bachelor anymore.
I've never watched a minute of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was Colton Underwood?
Mm-hmm.
And he's gay.
Mm-hmm.
Was he gay on The Bachelor?
No.
What's the story there?
Was he the Bachelor or was he one of the...
He was the Bachelor.
Oh.
And then he came out later, and I honestly don't know the story. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
can
know.
Google that.
I became friends with him because he was dating my friend, you know? So,
which is one of Ben's really good
yes,
friends, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is how I was invited.
Because I was doing a little bit of reading and everyone is so happy for him.
Yeah.
Of course, like really happy for him that he found happiness and stuff. But I was just wondering, I wonder if he was a bachelor. I wonder how the women all feel.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They feel like they got more famous.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, are you suggesting they weren't there for the right reasons?
I'm not sure any of them really are.
Okay.
Unless the right reasons are getting more famous.
I mean, that's what's important, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good wedding, though.
It was.
Oh, this was up in Napa, right?
Yes. It was a beautiful wedding. It was very tasteful. It was really like big. but it wasn't ostentatious. Very tasteful. It was interesting to see a wedding be masculine, but still have all of the traditional wedding things. Like going down the aisle, they didn't have flowers. They had all these like mossy plants and stuff.
Oh, that's
It was
cool.
like really cool. And the flatware was very masculine and everything was like black and matte.
Wait, what's masculine flatware? Like, is it
I have a
wood?
photo of it.
Yeah.
My new
It-
band.
I'm not good at describing things. I'm going to pull up a photo of this flatware. And can you describe it?
I sure can.
Okay, because I was honestly very impressed with it. I love wedding details as someone who's now been married twice. Okay, look at this flatware.
I'm still angry that I wanted gold flatware at my wedding and did not get it.
Isn't this a masculine but wedding table?
Yeah, this is. I feel like I'm at a steakhouse, but like in a matrimonial way. Don't worry, I'm going to pass it around. So there's 3 forks, and they're very like modern looking.
Yeah, they're like chiseled.
They're
like,
modern and streamlined, and certainly not gold. I'm going to pat. Is it okay if I pass
Yeah,
it around?
please. I would love
Yeah.
anyone who's good at describing things.
Okay.
Look at these 40-plussers having to pull the phone away.
I know. I had to put glasses on.
Honey,
to see
I'm
it.
there. I'm almost there myself.
Yeah, these are like that's like clay plates or something, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, those are nice. Yeah, and the flatware looks like they're tools,
Yes, that's what I mean.
They look like-
industrial.
right?
Yeah.
But shake.
They're like a really long handle. Like the fork looks like if you had to go fishing with a trident, you could take that.
Yes. And everything's matte black. And the chairs, okay, here's some tea. This wasn't in the People article. The chairs were uncomfortable, sweetie.
They were
uncomfortable. Everywhere that was like my big wedding joke, because I'd walk around and go, aren't these chairs horrible? They were so uncomfortable. They're made of, what is that, rattan? Thatch?
Yeah, that is rattan, right?
They looked really great.
Is rattan trendy
Like
again right now?
grass.
See, they
Right.
look really
I
great.
think
but
so.
They're woven.
Horribly
Interesting.
uncomfortable.
So you would have preferred just a wood slab.
It's
a
shafari
cushion.
chair, a tasteful shafari chair. Do we know what that is? The
I'm
wedding
getting,
chair.
yeah, I'm getting like very strong. Daniel and I had a real big issue over
same.
wedding chairs.
No, same.
Yeah, Allison did that thing where she's like, "Which chairs do you like, the brown or the white?" And I go, which one did I choose?
White.
I said, "Oh, I really like the white." And she's like, "Okay, we'll go with the brown."
Well,
Oh wow. Were they
Yeah.
Chiavari or were they just the folding garden
It
chairs?
was fun. It was
is
fun.
Chiavari a brand or a style?
No, it's the style. It's like
I think they were. Yeah.
It's
We
the
had-
wedding chair.
We had chuggy wedding chairs in. So
but
anyway,
they're the upgrade.
oh,
I'm gonna show y'all.
wait, maybe we didn't.
Everything was chuggy back then. It's like the people who stick with it that makes it chuggy, right?
Yeah.
This is
Who stick with their
like
wedding?
with that look and feel, like the chuggy. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let me see if we had this.
Like the bamboo looking.
Yeah,
ones, like
that's
the-
what the Chiavari
Oh.
chair is that
Yeah.
back.
I don't know if we had that or not.
Y'all probably had a folding garden chair, which is what I had in my
Something
first
like
wedding.
Yeah. So, did you have that at your second wedding?
We didn't have chairs in my second wedding.
Oh, right.
Oh,
What am
right.
I saying? Yeah. So anyway,
We did. We had chairs at your second wedding.
Yes, that's true. Your
We
home
had
chairs.
computer chairs. Yeah.
Computer chairs.
Once Daniel
Oh, do we
breathed
need
into
to?
being the idea of white chairs, it allowed me to realize I prefer brown.
Mm.
But I didn't handle it well, and I'm sorry.
Thank you. Finally.
I had meltdowns
okay.
over my wedding chairs, my first wedding. I'll just say
Planning a wedding
this.
sucks.
There were a lot of celebrities at this wedding, and celebrities are so good looking. They're on another level from us. Like, it's truly insane. 11s, 13s, like people who throw the curve off of good looks. And I was trying to be cool, but I'm not cool.
Well, that's
Like,
why I'm usually not invited to weddings. You know?
I mean,
'Cause
I was
you'll
a
throw
plus
up.
one,
Yeah.
okay? And I thought I turned it out, and I did. I looked really cute, but like, oh my God, these looks.
Can you say who some of the people are who are like amazingly beautiful in person?
Olivia Wilde,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
She
yeah.
seems like she would be.
Ana de Armas,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
an angel, a literal angel walking among us, uggos. Stunting hunty. Okay? Stunting hunty.
Yeah.
And then just like all these, everyone at this wedding was successful. Like I would meet somebody at like, the charcuterie and they'd walk away and Ben would be like, did you know who you're talking to? I was like, no. Oh, that guy's a billionaire. He sold blah, blah, blah. Like this was just success.
Well, wow. Is this not Colton's friends?
No, it was Jordan's friends.
Wow.
Yeah. Jordan's very connected and he's in the politics world like my husband. And they're just, it was just, I was the brokest person there. Easily.
And how was travel with
A nightmare.
Yeah, traveling
Yeah.
with kids is very hard.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. I mean, he was great, all things considered. it was more on me and just schlepping all the crap that was the first time we had the car seat and the stroller and you got a gate check.
Oh yeah, travel.
And my son is heavy. He's so heavy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You didn't gate check your kid?
I know. If that was an
easier.
option, I maybe.
Pretty warm under the plane, I guess.
Oh.
I don't know.
One more quick question.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't want to keep you. I know you got to bathe
Yeah.
your child. Okay. The Eras tour came up.
Yes.
Okay. I've noticed people on Twitter talking about what surprise songs she's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
And then people are like, everyone keeps saying they're going to cry. And I can't tell if they're going to cry because they're happy or going to cry because they're sad. I'm so removed from the Taylor Swift world. Can you just.
We could do a whole hour on this. I would have said Eras tour, go fuck yourself because.
Oh.
The tickets are a nightmare. I don't have tickets to the LA shows. If anyone has one, they want to sell me at a decent price, please DM me because literally they're going for $4,000.
Oh my God.
It's been a whole thing because Ticketmaster, the bots bought them all up and now they're reselling them and no one can afford them. I'm on every single Taylor Swift Facebook group, Twitter, because I'm trying to get a ticket.
Yeah.
And one of them said that the other night in Philadelphia or wherever, there were empty rows because these fucking bots and the people won't. Once like the show's about to start, they'll start lowering the price, but they still want $1,000, $2,000.
Oh, right,
people can't
yeah.
afford that, so it's like it just fucked everything up. So I'm in all the resale Facebook groups. I'm trying to get a ticket so bad. Caroline Moss and I want to go. She just dropped a lot of money on resale tickets and she was like, come on, just do it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have a job. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're living your life and it's gonna be fabulous. I'm trying to find a ticket. So anyone feels bad for me and wants me to be your plus one. But I am seeing Blink-182 in next month.
I'm excited.
And that's my Eras tour. Okay.
So wait, do you know what's going on though with the surprise songs and all that talk?
So the Eras tour is I think 3.5 hours long, and she plays songs from every era of her career.
Oh,
and at the
Oh,
end,
that's
I believe
Eras?
Eras.
Oh, I thought it was Eros.
No, ERAS.
Oh.
And at the end, she
Yeah.
picks different songs per where she is. So there's no way of knowing. And there's also special guests.
Isn't a surprise? Isn't every concert comprised of surprise songs?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
why
always
is that?
acting like this is
That's
like
a
big,
really good point.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe-
acting like this is like a big facet.
Well, it depends on the artist. I saw Garth Brooks. This motherfucker is a showman, okay? At the end of the set, he goes, anyone have requests? And he takes a request for another hour.
Oh,
and
wow.
He literally sings
That's
until
cool.
he is hoarse. And it is
Awesome.
incredible. He's a showman. He's
Garth.
incredible. But then, like Blink-182. So I've been peeping those set lists every show.
I see.
They're the same. Every once in a while, they'll do a different
I
end
see.
song, but it's usually a funny cover of them being like, butts, farts, dicks, come on your mom, whatever.
I love that
That's
song.
my
That makes
show.
sense.
I love
why,
that song.
you'll
Yeah.
get it.
Poop, diarrhea, farts, butts. Yeah. Now
That
you have
song
the
makes
second
me
one.
cry.
Yeah.
It's so
pretty.
beautiful.
So yeah, it's a big deal in the Taylor Swift world if what she's going to bust out, and also celebrity guests. When I saw her last Reputation tour, Troye Sivan came out and Selena Gomez. Okay, that was
Oh,
a
wow.
big deal.
Yeah.
So essentially nothing is new for this tour. I mean, she's been doing this forever, right?
Yeah, but it's a long tour.
She
and
got
she
rained
hasn't-
on recently,
She's
and
put
they
out
ruined her
several
piano.
albums since the pandemic. I believe 3. So no one has seen her do these songs yet.
Okay.
So it's big.
All right.
People are paying up.
What-
if anybody wants to sell me
Do
a
I
ticket,
need one of those LED red light masks?
no.
Are they bullshit?
We're switching topics. right now.
I
did
think
switch, yeah.
that doing things at the
Thank you.
dermatologist would pay
I
off
only know
more.
because of
Okay.
the
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
But I do
had to
hear
get my
I do
question
hear
in.
the solo wave is good.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know which one that is.
It's the little stick.
that thing that you do that with.
My friend is like a skincare goddess, Rory.
Oh,
I
yes,
emailed you,
yeah.
Rob. Incredible. She's a big fan of that. And
Okay.
she looks incredible.
Does she look? Todd, what do you think she looks?
Snatched.
She is snatched to the goals.
Is it with an ED on the end?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did.
She's snatched to the
I have
goals.
I have a question.
Do you call it snatch butte sometimes?
The goals.
Good point.
Yeah.
Jackie,
course I do.
what are your thoughts about
I gotta go bathe my child.
I got one question. What do you think about the lotion that's made out of your own blood cells?
Do you know about this?
I mean, like PRP facials?
No,
no.
Peter Madrigal from Vanderpump Rules has been on my show a couple times. Got his blood drawn, and then they take some kind of
They take the
component
plasma
of
and
blood
put it in
and
a
make
lotion, and then
make
it's
a-
like
Well, that's
facial
what PRP
serum.
is.
Yeah.
They shake your blood, they get the plasma, the thick
Yeah.
yellow,
Is it
and they
BS
put it,
or does it
they
work?
put it on your face and they stamp it in. I don't know if topically it would go in as deep.
That's what I'm wondering too.
So I don't know.
He does.
It makes sense though because They're taking your blood out and then putting it back in.
Right. So you'd look.
So you would look just like you.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I get it if you're getting someone else's plasma who's got great skin.
I did that
but
once.
It's your goddamn
PRP
plasma.
thing, the
Yeah, you
vampire
look
facial?
you look
No, I
like
got-
your own
I
shitty
got
self, like
skin cells
more
of, like,
shitty.
Swedish teens injected into my face once.
Did it?
Did nothing.
Swedish teeth.
Yeah, specifically, I asked for Sweden.
Well, can you get like a picture of the person whose
Yes.
blood it is?
It's like
Sweden.
for $10 a day, you can adopt the skin
Wow, you
cells
got
of the
someone
Swede.
else's plasma?
Yeah, I don't think it did anything though. You can also there's like the baby dick eye cream. Do you know about that?
Oh,
So in the hospital when they circumcise babies,
You can't leave.
Right, wait.
In the hospital when they circumcise babies, they take their little dick skins
Yeah, the
and
foreskins.
and then they remove the skin cells
And
and,
they
then
use
they
it for
make
lotion?
eye cream out of
are
it.
you sure?
Yes.
I've heard of this.
I'm sorry
I've
I
heard of
yelled
this.
at you.
Yes, I've
That's-
used it.
And?
Nothing. I don't know. I was given a sample.
Is that why your eyes look like dicks?
Yeah.
Jackie,
They-
you
they
didn't feel
just do.
any when you got that face thing. You didn't feel
Yeah.
any more Nordic at all.
I didn't.
Really?
I did want to drink aquavit. I had a
No
craving
urge
for
to ski?
aquavit. Isn't that what that's called?
That is something.
Aquavit?
Oh, yeah, then
On
they're
the wrong
alcohol.
guy.
Yeah, it's like a Norwegian drink
Yeah.
or something.
Oh, man.
I have so
Swedish
many
teens.
comments, but I know you have
Swedish
to go.
teens. I know. Just have me back. I
Yeah.
don't have a job. I'll just come back.
Oh, my God. You're going to regret
but
saying that.
but
'cause I'll
this
have you back all
time
the
is just
time.
hard for me.
What is a better time?
Earlier.
I can do earlier.
I have childcare in the day.
Jackie, just you wait.
Okay, I'll
I'm
be
going to be
back.
asking you all my beauty questions,
Okay.
and I am going to do earlier. We can totally
Have
do that.
fun without me.
I'm supposed to talk
Bye.
now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're the new
Sorry,
Jackie.
fans.
Anyone has tickets to any of the Taylor Swift tours in Inglewood, please DM me. I will buy it for a decent, fair price. I don't have a job. I'm a mother. Okay.
Do you want to give parameters for the price, or you want to just see what they come up with?
I'm
No, you know what? Don't do
Okay,
that because
yeah.
then they're gonna ask
Yeah.
for your
good one, Allison. She's a businesswoman, sweetie.
So good seeing you. Bye, Jackie.
Bye.
Bye, Jackie.
We won't.
It'll be hard. It'll be hard.
Oh, no. What are we going to do? I've put no one's dicks on my eyes from go. I have
Yeah.
no
No foreskins?
No
Yet.
foreskins yet. No Swiss teens. Swedish teens.
Wait, I
was
have to
Swedish
ask
teens.
Daniel a question.
Swiss teens
Is
on
Wendy in her crate?
Yes.
Okay, good. Oh, Jackie's going out the side. She
Okay.
doesn't have to do that. She could have let herself in the house.
I know.
Oh well.
Is the side gate sketchy over there?
Yeah, it's
A lot of gangs
Well,
over
I-
there.
There's a lot of gang activity.
Yes.
We've lost some guests that way.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's just not as as inside the house.
Sure.
Okay, let's talk about this baby dick eye cream for a second, and then we can move on.
I'm not really an expert, but yes.
I just call me naive.
Okay.
I just don't think that they are really taking cells from foreskins and turning them into eye cream.
Are you asking them to prove it?
I guess so.
Yeah, is there like a making of video on their web? I don't think I
Like,
want to see
if-
that.
This all feels very QAnon to me.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
it
what I'm
just
saying.
seems
Like,
like
if
a-
that's really happening, there should be some whole outrage.
Yeah. Agreed.
And maybe I'm the only
Should
one.
there?
Yes. You can't. It's like when periodically those, someone will be like, "We found all these abortion parts," or what. I mean, it's like then they're making stew out of.
What's this?
Yeah, it feels like
there's a
you should
lot
have
of
to get
laws.
the permission from the family.
There's
to
a lot of
use it.
laws and regulations about what can happen
Right.
with
Biological
waste.
Right.
And I don't think, although there is a joke about someone who gets a wallet made out of foreskins and but when you rub it, it turns into an overnight bag.
Oh, that's good
Tony.
stuff.
Great
That's
joke.
good. Yeah, thank you for that.
We're going to need you to look up, I'm sorry, RIP your search results. We're going to, what's the right way to look it up?
Baby dick eye cream? Is that
I
what you're
think
getting
foreskin,
Foreskin
eye
ice
cream.
cream.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
at? I like that I didn't.
worst
I
is
will
that
say I
next?
didn't even have to type the whole thing, and it came up immediately.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What does it
Tell
say?
us what it says. Because, it does sound
hang
cute, Anon.
Yeah, it feels very this is a conspiracy.
I feel like the world of beauty products is really where the snake oil stuff
And
happens
Jackie's
nowadays.
vegan, so you'd think she really wouldn't want to put
By the way,
baby dicks on her eyes.
there's
Well, there isn't like a factory farm where they're harvesting
Just kids
baby
in cages.
foreskins.
Yeah.
That's what you think.
Oh,
Yeah,
Open
you don't
your
know
Oh my
for
God.
sure.
Are there?
it's just a pizza shop in DC. Downstairs
Yes,
is
of
where they
course.
keep them.
Take the red pill. Red pill. Get red pilled.
What surprised me was all these articles that came up are old. Like there's an article from fashionmagazine.com about Oprah using it, and it's from 2013.
And it's foreskin.
Yes.
Like
it says,
human foreskin.
Yes, it said.
Whoa. Tell us. Because I don't know what Fashion Daily is. It say Fashion Daily?
Fashionmagazine.com.
That doesn't sound real.
Yeah, that's Fashion Magazine.
I mean, look, I went with the
The Fashion Magazine.
All right,
News
here's-
magazine.
Here's something from the Guardian.
Bullshit Monthly. Okay.
Oh, that's. I'll listen to that.
I just, I saw Oprah and I got excited.
Yeah.
You know how I
Sure.
am.
Yeah, the classic big Oprah guy.
What are they saying about it on Goop? That's what I got to know.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I don't even. I mean, these are like full articles. I don't even really know what to
Well, read
what
it.
to tell
Well,
you. here.
just read it from the beginning.
All right.
Just
TheGuardian.com.
wait. Go to Newsmax. See what they say.
I'm
Oh,
on the
yeah.
phone trying to book a special appointment, a foreskin facial. The treatment is not widely available in the U.S., so the calls yield nothing except a series of confusing conversations.
But
This
they
is
don't even
from
circumcise in
20
other
But does
countries.
it work?
This is from 2018.
That's not what we're trying to. Does it work? That's not what we're trying to find out.
I am. Like, is it bullshit or not? Is what
Okay,
I'm trying
here we
to
go.
find
It
out.
says-
I don't have to
find
read
out.
anything. Yes.
We're trying to find. Have you seen how? I can't go there. I was going to say, have you seen how? Anyway,
It says the procedure, popular in Hollywood celebrity circles, injects
That sounds like Jackie.
cells from a baby's foreskin, specifically a South Korean baby's foreskin, into the face. Sandra Bullock and Kate Blanchett are big fans.
South Korean.
Just
Is there
last
like
month.
laws different in South Korea?
I don't.
Jenna grew up there.
Ask Jenna. She'll know.
Keep going.
It says just last month, this is a couple years ago, Kate Beckinsale had one and said it was amazing.
I bet Q uses this to like buttress their argument
I was
that
gonna- yeah, this-
Democrats eat babies.
This this is definitely like Hollywood elite business. Like this is
Right.
where they get this stuff.
Right.
I mean, it is off-putting.
I'm not necessarily a supporter of this kind of thing.
But you just want to know if it works.
Well, I feel like if it doesn't work, that makes it doubly bad. Right?
but like, where are they injecting
Like, what? You're not even
it?
getting
You're
it.
not getting. Yeah.
And also, like,
Well, it sounds
why-
like it's not injected. It
Oh,
sounds-
it's a facial.
Yeah, because this is a great sentence, just out of context. Sarah smears the foreskin formula onto my face and neck.
And like, what are foreskin cells supposed to have in them
Are
that's
they
so
like
great?
stem cell adjacent kind of
I
things?
don't think so.
It just can't be that that's how the body takes this kind of stuff in, right? Like you would
Right.
think if your body was like going to take in a stem cell or any
Yeah.
kind of thing, like rubbing it onto the surface of it, your
Right.
body is not going to be like, oh, thanks, I'll have those stem cells.
Yeah,
like, it
yeah.
doesn't work like that.
Right,
That's-
right.
Like it's hard. Like blood transfusion things are hard
Yes.
because your
Yes.
body doesn't want stuff that isn't its.
Right.
Right.
So. Just all of that stuff always like anything other than a moisturizer seems like bullshit to me.
Yes.
I think that's right.
But I mean, and I'm well versed in. I'm not.
In skincare.
I'm not.
Yeah,
your
I
guy.
think the kind of person who would go to that length is the kind of person who's doing a lot for their skin, so their skin's going to look good. Like, and you'll go, why did? But yeah, but that's a person who's like exfoliating and moisturizing, and yeah, they're going to look good, but not because they're having baby penis on their face.
Are they? Tony, have you found out more? Like, are South Korean parents selling their babies foreskin?
That
Is
I'm
circumcision
not
standard in
seeing.
South Korea? I mean, this is really wow.
Yeah, it's kind of, this is just going on about this guy who tried it. This doesn't really get into a lot of specific details on that end.
So, Todd,
Yeah,
you interned at Saddleback.
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Because my other friend Todd Perry, that I used to do Upworthy Weekly with, now I mentioned on the last episode, we're doing a Patreon podcast, Allison and Todd After Hours. He went to Kauai and he was chatting with this guy in the hot tub. And this guy was like very like personable and cool. And it turns out that this guy is a pastor and he's from Irvine. And I'm like, I wish I could remember any details about him because I bet that he's from Saddleback.
I put money on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is
there's
Saddleback?
Oh, so Saddleback is like Todd can fight.
megachurch.
It's a mega church down in Orange County. Is it in Irvine?
It's further south. So Orange County has like this high concentration of mega churches. There
Yes.
are I swear there are like 4 or 5 huge churches there.
Really?
So it could be any of them.
Now, for someone who doesn't know, explain megachurch.
Megachurch is like, I want to say, I don't know what the actual number is. It's like in the like 1,000 or higher numbers. Saddleback's membership when I was there was like off the charts. I mean, like,
This is where you get the hip pastor who wears like a Ms. Jackson if you're nasty.
that's right.
right.
That's right.
And
that's
is it? I know that the Forum is now a mega church on Sundays.
I'm sure.
Really?
So is it like that size, or is it like an old Walmart
This place
kind of
was like
situation?
enormous. It's a huge sanctuary, and then it would be like maybe I think they were seeing like 10,000 people on a weekend. Wow! And that was over 5 services. So
Jesus.
it was nuts. Jesus is right. and there was but I remember it was like they like had these really inflated numbers of like their membership.
Yeah.
Because like to get off of the membership, you had to like work at it. To like be like, I guarantee you I'm still a member at Saddleback Church.
Right.
But like I had a friend who was like actively did not want to be on the membership list and had to like, it took him some doing.
It's like unsubscribing from like one of those candidate email lists. You know, you got to go to the website and answer a bunch of questions.
Yeah,
and then
you're like,
then the unsubscribe button is way down.
Yeah.
They're like real tiny.
and then you click it and they're like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they immediately send you an email saying you are now unsubscribed.
Yeah.
It's like, well, don't send another email.
Right.
Like, that's the whole point.
And then it's like a negative, like click yes to say that you don't want to not subscribe. And
It's that kind of vibes for sure. But yeah, Saddleback. I remember that we were talking about that. I was thinking about that earlier. You didn't grow up that way?
No, I grew up sans religion.
Wow, congrats.
But around a lot of. But remind me how much did you leave all of that?
100. I'm out.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been in. I don't know if I talked about. I was thinking about this when we were talking about therapy before. So I went to like intense. I went to therapy for religious trauma.
Oh wow!
So I have a
This
therapist.
is a term I've only heard recently, and I think it was from Sarah Edmondson.
Maybe.
Was it that, or this idea of religious trauma?
Yeah, it's very specific. I just found it.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. It when I went, I was like, this trauma feels like a word that people use too much sometimes, and I'm like, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with calling this trauma, but
Well, it's a term,
specific
though.
Yeah.
And
type
what is
of a
it?
thing.
And what kind of generally is it? Like,
It's just people who like, you know, the most I'd say like the most like big version of it is like someone who was in a cult.
Right.
You has to like undo some of that stuff, but ultimately, like, you know, really hardcore Christianity has those same idea. I mean, you're living your life based on this thing that you are told is true. And then when you find the thing is not true, there's a lot of undoing that does in your core, you know.
and is that where the trauma is? Or
Or is
Yeah.
it trauma
Or
the
is it-
way you were raised in it?
I think it can be both. I mean, it's the trauma of like somebody pulling the rug out from under you of like, here's everything you thought was true. And then
that would be traumatic.
it's a lot. From anyone I talk to who's like, I have a lot of friends who are coming out of this world, and anyone who is coming out of it, it is like, they're like, as soon as I think it's gone, I have a thought and I'm like, oh shit, that's not true. That's like in me still.
Wow.
It's like these tendrils like get in all the nooks and crannies of your soul, you know.
Yeah.
You let it in and you let it guides everything you do.
And what was the process of you starting to pull away from it?
It was so slow. I was in my 30s. I was like 33 or 4 when it started.
Are your parents pretty religious?
My dad was a pastor at
Oh.
my church growing up. He was on like, they're Southern Baptist and evangelical, which sounds like,
Is there-
oh, wow.
Okay, hold on. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. Southern Baptist and evangelical, in my mind, are synonymous.
Yes.
But are they?
Yes.
They are.
Yeah, yeah. It would be like evangelical would be like anything that's not Catholic.
Yeah.
Essentially Protestant, evangelical, somewhat the same.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Sort
I
of
think
in the same vein.
Oh, I'm thinking of Presbyterian, which is like not super intense. Protestant is super intense.
Protestant is an umbrella that would cover anything not Catholic.
Got it.
Right.
And then there's like more traditional, like Presbyterian might be a little more calm and like more vibrant.
Yeah.
But some would say like it's all evangelical to some
So
degree.
evangelical
I think.
can is like an umbrella that covers
Yeah.
a lot of different sort of versions.
Denominations is how they what
Right.
they call them. So
Okay.
Methodist, Episcopalian, or Lutheran. These are all like denominations,
Yeah.
and like Lutherans and Episcopalians are very like chill. Like they're not They're going to church on Sunday, and it's very high church. It's not.
So what does evangelical describe?
That's it. As I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
A, I'm glad that I don't really know. I'm glad that it's gone out of me. But B, I'm not sure what the delineation actually would be.
I thought it's
a level of enthusiasm.
It
but I
seems
think
like
it means a direct relationship with Jesus or God, right?
Yeah.
And it means you proselytize.
I
right?
think there's something about the proselytization of it and like the expression of the religion, or as opposed to what specifically
you believe about
they
it.
Believe about it. Maybe
I think.
don't know.
I mean, like as I understand it, all Protestantism has like a sharing element of it, and all of it has like a. That's why I would say like most of that would be considered evangelical.
They're all evangelizing.
I would say that like it has taken on a new flavor in like this era politically, where it's become much more. Evangelicalism has become much more like almost a cultural Christianity,
right?
Versus like actual like I have a relationship with Jesus Christ. It's more about like I vote for guns and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, not to get too far into that, but I think American evangelicalism now, in many ways, is kind of almost its own religion.
Yeah,
it doesn't really like. I don't recognize it as very Christian.
When I was Christian, if I had heard all those things, I would never have been on board with that. And my parents are not.
Okay.
Like they're still Christian, but they're not.
Are they progressive?
No, but they're just not like they're kind of like it's all bullshit like with politics, like they're all full of it. But they're like they don't like Trump, like they wouldn't vote for Trump. Like they're not in that vein. And I a lot of evangelicals are not on board with it.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like this loud flavor of evangelicals are giving the other evangelicals a bad name. So tell us more about you were saying you were in your 30s. It was a slow process.
Yeah, and I I would just find like things didn't add up. Essentially, I'd be like, that doesn't make sense because of I started listening to Radiolab. Do you listen to Radiolab?
I love it.
I know it. Yeah.
It was like I was such a fan, and I was like, wow, like it would like blow my mind the way things were working, and I was like, boy, that sure doesn't leave room for some of this. And over time, I had to like look at everything through a different lens. And as I was doing that, it was unraveling. Yeah. And it would start being like, well, okay, there's not a real Adam and Eve. That's a story. That's not like an actual thing that happened.
But you had grown up with a literal
Adam
so
and
you
Eve.
didn't believe in evolution.
So I think I started to in high school where I was like, I think I'm on board with evolution. And even my dad was like, that makes sense. Like God can use all different ways to like make things happen.
Yeah.
Right? Like if God created it, he can do whatever he wants. Evolution, sure. So I was like, great, I'm on board.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they were not awful about it. It's just that the religion comes with a package of bullshit that is really intense, and it affects how you live.
I believe still that most American Christians are like that.
I think
it's
that's
like we hear from because they're loud and they're a strong force in politics from a subset of people who have a particular belief, but and they end up representing in a lot of people who aren't religious in their minds who Christians are. But I don't think most Christians are like that. I think most people are just they go to church and they're much more open minded than.
Well, so that actually brings me to a question I had earlier, but I do want to hear the rest of your pulling away from it and like that realization and what that must have been like. But I was thinking about like there's a lot of people that hold these high academic scientific offices who also go to church probably. And I feel like for a lot of people going to church is a community thing and a cultural thing. Like how many people go, but if you really press them, they don't really believe in heaven, hell, God is. I mean, like, yes. I think there's this sort of carve out for people who believe, I believe in something bigger than myself. I believe in spirituality. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like a specific dude or being up there. Like how many people don't go to church? It's a part of their life, but they don't actually believe.
I bet a ton. I mean, I bet a ton. I always, I have friends who are still Christians, and I they're great. Like there are great people there.
Yeah.
And even ones who do believe deeply all the things, it's not that people are bad.
Yeah.
They're people who are earnestly doing their best. They have this book that goes like, hey, here's how to do your best. And they're like, let's do that. And like the Jesus stuff isn't terrible.
No,
like
I
the
like the
stuff
Jesus
Jesus
stuff.
is
stuff
saying.
is largely pretty great.
It's like he's countercultural. He's saying to love people, right?
Yeah.
The
Turn
problem
the other
is
cheek, charity, all the
good stuff, right?
Right.
Which the now evangelical American evangelicals are like, you're not reading that part,
right. No,
that part you left out.
they
The
wish-
good part,
right?
I wish evangelicals, the political evangel, I wish they were Christian.
Yeah, that's I find that a
would be
lot.
great.
Like that's my experience when I read that stuff is like, this doesn't add up with the thing you believe, right?
Yeah.
You say you believe, and it's also like, it's problematic because you've got like this Old Testament, New Testament thing where it's like this Old Testament God who is like, all right, we're gonna go destroy everything, burn this down,
Right.
like
Eye
fuck
for an
that,
eye,
yeah, eye for an eye, and then Jesus comes and he's like, that's my guy. Here's what we're doing. You're like, that's not at all what your guy said.
No,
Like-
that Old Testament God though is hilarious.
Yeah, he's funny.
Oh my God! Please read. What is it? Exodus or Genesis? Those are very funny books. I mean, no offense to anybody, but it's like, I'm sorry, but it's like, I mean, Moses, he goes up to the mountain, and he listens to the burning bush. God gives him the 10 commandments, and he gets the 10 commandments. And like the first thing God says to him is, you shouldn't kill, like thou shalt not kill. And he goes down the mountain and the people are worshiping the golden calf, and he immediately breaks the tablets, and then he fucking kills all the firstborn kid. And he goes back up and he's like, can I have another set of tablets? And God's like, fine. It's like the first thing he does is break the first commandment.
Yep.
Like if he was Elliot, he'd be like, what would happen if I
hypothetical.
Elliot, he like thinks that he's he brings up these hypothetical. What would happen if I did that thing that you said not to do?
This is by the way the thing that makes it dangerous.
Yeah.
It's this mentality which is you inherently are going to do the wrong thing. That's what this story is telling us.
Yeah.
Right? That we by nature, we're going to do the wrong thing, that the way God's way is the right way. We are going to do it the wrong way. And that's what God is for to fix. Right.
Yeah.
That's what you live with is there's nothing I am going to do that's good.
Mm-hmm.
God is the solution to my flawed being.
Yeah.
So when you enter the world as I am flawed and the only solution is this guy who, by the way, told me that I'm flawed.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
it gets really dark really fast. And
Yeah.
you can imagine the math that does in your brain. Like it doesn't do
It's like it's
things.
built to create dissonance in your head that can only be resolved through someone who can resolve it.
Yeah,
and
that's
that's what
right.
I just don't trust people telling me how to live. So I have a natural like aversion to that kind of thing.
Man, I would have given anything to have caught and so many friends who were like, oh, by 6th grade, I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm also like mostly a yellow lab. Like, I'm like, what are we doing that? I'll be good boy. What are we doing? Let's do that. Like, I'm happy to just get on board. So I was like, people were like, Jesus is this. I'm like, Jesus is that guy? I'm with you.
Yeah.
And so I like whole hog was like in it. And so, yeah, it was hard. It was hard to get out because I was like, my natural state is like trusting and like,
Right.
let's do it right.
Oh,
you
that's
know?
interesting.
So there's a lot that goes into like how someone might be affected by it. Depends what you got
So you
going
were
in.
saying like around your 30s, things started to not add up.
Yeah, and then it took years to like little by little I'd be like, okay, I'm not into this. This is good. Jesus is cool. The rest of the stuff that the church is saying isn't cool. And then it was just like, hey, if this doesn't add up, Jesus is not real. Like
Right.
it
That
either is
was
or it
that
isn't.
like a surreal, like upsetting moment to come to that realization?
I had a lot of anger.
Okay.
I like it came out of me as rage, and it was that it was like being overwhelmed, I think, and it was also that like I had been lied to, and that's the other thing is no one is lying to me intentionally. No one is trying to do anything. My parents are only trying to do what they think is
Right.
best.
Yeah.
They're saving me from hell.
Right.
They're not doing bad stuff, right? They're
Honestly.
doing their best, but it's like thanks, but it didn't. It's
Well,
not true.
did it help to know that they believe it?
Yes, I mean it does, but it like the way.
So we
that
just need to tell Elliot that we still believe in Santa Claus no matter what, because we cannot ever let it. I believed it. I thought it was true even while I was putting the presents under the tree. I don't know.
Wait, you're telling me there's no Santa Claus?
Yeah.
You have to put it on
Can't be
him.
mad at me.
Yeah. It just makes sense.
I've recently had this thought. This is bananas, but I've recently had this thought with all the all this new AI business that's happening, which is scary and crazy. And we're in a crazy new age, and also the like the idea that we're in a simulation, which is what if the Bible is actually like the AI giving us like historically this is how other generations have happened, like this is how other simulations have ended.
Oh, like other iterations of
Other
of our-
iterations.
yeah.
So you've got like the flood narrative in Noah is like climate change situation,
Oh.
and like wars and things like are actual like explode, like nuclear explosions, or that like these different endings, these
It
different.
does feel like AI wrote it.
Right?
Yes.
It feels like it's like this this truth of nature by way of like, hey, don't go down these paths. And, like the knowledge of good and evil of like that's the story, is that Adam and Eve are in the garden, and it's. I think it's if in this narrative, which is not true, but it's fun to think about, is like it's the first decision. It's like everything launches off of this first decision, right? It's binary. Eat the apple, don't eat the apple, and then that splits, and now it becomes a different narrative. So that's the very beginning, and the apple is like the knowledge of good and evil, and then the question is, well, what is good and evil in the system?
This is like some Matrix shit right here.
Yeah, I mean that's what it would be, is that it like unraveled to be like that. It's
I
set us
mean,
up for something.
you know, it's as good a theory as any.
Yeah.
So what were the things that like weren't adding up for you?
Well, I mean, like the science of like just like flood, where the like Christians are all like, oh, the flood, like you can prove that there was like a worldwide flood, and then you like do any research about like older religions, and you see like, oh, like this is lifted from this, and this.
The history of the Bible, that's interesting, because you can start to see. We can actually tell where things derive from.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's honestly been so long that I went through it, like that the specifics have kind of left me in a way that I'm like thankful for. But the overarching feeling, once it was unraveling, it would like unravel quicker and quicker, where it was like, oh, you pulled the thread and you're like, oh, that doesn't add up. That doesn't add. And it goes like, and then it was like 3 years or 4 years until I was like, okay, I'm atheist.
Yeah.
Like I'm all the way out.
Yeah.
And now I don't know what I believe.
Do you miss going to something on Sundays?
To this day, waking up on a Sunday and not having to go to church is still the greatest thing. It's like you know, like when you go see your friend at a party or something, you're like, you know, you're going to see people you love, and you're like, this is going to be great. But if it cancels, you're also like, this is great.
That's
I don't have
every
to go.
social
Fucking yes.
engagement ever.
That feeling every Sunday.
Honestly, I've got to the point now where that's everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Like
don't
the
want to do
pandemic.
anything. I don't want to do anything anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
It is the pandemic hit, and we were all like, no, we want to. And they're like, do I really want to go out?
I know. I don't.
Pandemic really made you realize, like, well, I know, Tony, you were in a different situation in the pandemic than like Daniel and me.
Yeah, it's
But-
a little different when you're alone.
Yeah.
Man.
But it
It's
made me
funny how
realize
much that's
I'm
the
okay
dream.
staying.
That's my dream.
That was
is
his
being
dream.
alone. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, no, and I totally understand that side though too.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just like I had the extreme version
Yes.
of it.
Yeah.
I had a very weird experience. Weird experience is too strong, but I think of myself like I like to nap, and I recently became acquainted with a bathrobe that I'm in love with, and I wear it all the time. I can't wait to put it on. I'm just like I've become like a very lazy, snuggly person. I never want to do anything, and I feel the most at home when I'm lying down in bed, and then I think, what's happened to my life? Like, and why am I afraid of death if I'm so happy, you know, doing zero?
Dying is not exactly like being in a bathrobe, lying in your bed.
You don't know. You don't know that.
If only it were, that would
But
be pretty great.
I'm not
That would be-
afraid of the process of dying. I'm afraid of not existing.
Huh.
And yet that's what I seek every time I get in. No, I don't. That's not true. I
You're
seek comfort
not.
and TikTok. So anyway, though, here's the thing though. Like I really leaned into not do. We also have 2 little kids, but to not doing a lot. However, there was a week where I mentioned in the last episode, I think, that I had chaperoned a field trip. So that meant getting up, dressed, out of the house way earlier than I don't even, because the way Daniel and I do the mornings is he drives them because I don't like driving them to school. He doesn't like getting them ready for school. We used to trade off, and then we realized like let's just each. So I never drive them to school. Their teachers probably don't even have a mom, but I get up early with them in my bathrobe, get them ready, and then I go back to sleep if I can. So I wasn't able to do that. I did this, and I was like pulled out of myself and my own brain in 1,000 different ways.
We also saw Friends the next day.
Well,
I'm trying to move this along.
Okay.
No, I know where this is going.
I've already, because I've shared it with them.
Yes.
No, but I even was like, maybe I should have been a teacher because this is not affording me time to like think about all my bullshit, you know? But then I realized like, no. By the third week of being a teacher, you're just thinking about your own bullshit because it's normalized. This was the new experience.
Right.
You know, we went to this nature preserve and I was like, maybe I should have been an animal handler or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So did that and then came back home and I was so tired. But then my sister and my nephews came over, with family, but still it made me be, you know, more social than normal. And then the next day we visited some friends, sat in the sun, something I don't like to do. None of us were appreciating the sun, but we were outside. We were at this farmer's market with friends. And then that evening we went to dinner. And then the next day was Mother's Day. And we have an electric piano now. And I was playing piano, which is something that I used to do all the time and I hadn't. And it was like really, and I was so euphoric that day. It was almost like a chemical thing. I was like, am I about to have a stroke? What's breaking in my body? Because I feel so, remember I kept thanking you. It was Mother's Day.
I know.
And like hugging you.
She was grateful for
I
things.
was so grateful for my family.
Amazing.
Threw 2 pence to a kid to go buy a turkey. For a Mother's Day turkey.
Exactly. And it carried over into the next day too. It was just like, I was so happy. And it's the worst thing ever because I'm like, is it because I was so social? Like, I still don't really know what caused that feeling. But maybe I'm not meant to be Robe Jones.
I do think I have had this thought, and I mean to do this, which is to try to remember all the times in your life when you were really, really happy.
It's never when you're napping.
Well, and then what were you doing? And then do that. You know what I mean? Like, whatever there were times when you've been really happy. I can't think of any of them, but I mean, I'm sure they're there. Like, and then do more of those things.
Yeah.
Like, why is it that we're always trying to
get out of things,
force the situation by doing other things? Like, do the thing that makes you happy. If it's vacation, go on more vacations. Like, I know cost can be an issue for people, but it's like there's got to be ways. Like, for me, one of the things is like I always feel really, really good after I go swimming in the day. And like, or just sitting by a pool, and there's something that puts my brain in another place. So maybe I need to go swimming more. And so I was thinking, like, we don't have a pool, but maybe we're gonna get the boys swim lessons. Maybe I'll go swimming with them this summer more. That kind of thing, you know. Drinking during the day, waking up, having a shot of whiskey.
These drugs are really great.
Drugs make me happy.
Daniel got an addiction.
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to this podcast? I can't remember, something happiness, but it's essentially the science of happiness.
I think I've seen it. I haven't listened to it.
There's 10% happier, not that.
Maybe it's that. I can't remember. This woman was a professor at an Ivy League school and taught this thing on the studies. All the studies of happiness.
I've heard of this. Yeah.
She like put it together into a podcast, which I listened to 3 episodes and moved on because that's how I roll.
Yeah,
that's enough. You got it.
I got the gist. And so she one of the things in it is that everyone thinks like extroverts like to be with people. Introverts were like, I'd rather not, right? But it turns out everyone benefits from being with people, even introverts.
Yeah.
And so the thing of like, do what you want to do that makes you happy. It's weird because it's counterintuitive. Introversion might lead you to say like, oh, I don't know. I don't really feel like it.
I really want to take a nap and wear my robe and not be around people. Yeah.
But it is good it's like exercise where it's like, I don't really want to, I'm glad when I have, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
And even as an extrovert going out, I know I'm going to be much happier having spent time with people.
I have thought that. Like I think I'm probably an introvert, but I think we're social creatures,
Right.
and we
That's right.
exist to be social. Like if you try to think of a meaning of life, it's like, well, it would have to have something to do with your social worth and your value socially, in some way. And so, like, it makes sense that, whenever I'm with friends, even if it's just like, hey, I'm going to grab a lunch with a friend I haven't seen in a while, I always feel amazing after. It's
Yeah.
like it's a physiological difference that it makes in you.
It's what we're made to. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'll go a step further. Here's my new religion. Like humanity is, in a gross way, we're a slime mold. We see each
I've
other
often said
as we see ourselves as this individual. Like our egos are really like, they keep us alive, but they're also the thing that harms us the most. We are not really individuals.
Right.
Like we are as
We're
humanity
collective.
as are something, but we're nothing on our own. Like the advancements we've made are based on the backs of humanity as humanity.
Right.
And in death too, it's good to remember that, like, when I go, I'm not, it's not me, like, ego me going. It's one small piece and something else is going to come in. I'm
Right.
part of this collective thing.
Going back to where you were.
Yeah. I mean, but I had a lot of death stuff with all the Jesus business. So I had to work out my death fears, but it gives me a lot of peace to go, like, oh yeah, I'm like just I'm part of the thing. And when I go, I will degrade and be, my parts will go into the thing again. Like we'll just be back in the thing. I don't know about consciousness, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. When you said our purpose, right? Something like that.
Sure.
I was going to say, after those few days, I did feel more connected to like the meaning of life or my purpose or something. I was sort of invigorated with more of a greater sense of who I am. But yeah, I hate it because it does take discipline, because I don't know if it's being a parent or I don't know what it is, but I just always want more time to do nothing.
I think for us, it's hard when you have two little kids and work and stuff, because they just grind you down and you get tired and really you just want a fucking break.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, and so you have to fight against that and know that the effort is worth it. It's easier, I think, when you're younger and you can just go hang out. You actually have to make a conscious effort at this point.
Oh yeah, I remember in high school, if I was ever home on a Friday night, I felt like the biggest loser ever.
Oh my God.
I could not be okay with being home on a Friday
There's
night.
nothing better than being alone on a Friday
Wait,
night.
maybe not high school. Maybe it was when I was older.
Yeah, sure.
And like
Having kids,
I don't know.
it just beats your ass so hard. I have just one. You guys have two. Those years, like, I don't think you ever get that sleep. Like, you think, like,
No.
I'll catch up. That year that your sleep is gone, that shit is gone.
and it's
you're
gone in
catching
your
up.
face.
It's-
Like you age.
You feel
it ages
it all.
you.
And it just, like, you never recover from it. And I
Right.
think, like,
Yeah.
some of that is, like, feeling like I need to recover. And like, there's not enough, there's no recovery. This is reality.
I mean, I recently, like, we both like to sleep in, I'm definitely not a morning person, never have been. And I just get like a second wind at like 11. It's like, now I feel creative now. I just want to go like do like, it's hard to wind down. But our youngest, Owen, he gets up at like between 5 and 5:30 now. That's just when he gets up, and it is like fucking in your face. He wants to get up. He's loud. He's pushing you. And
Touches your face.
he touches you. He is a little terrorist. And he
waterboards you.
well, if you knew a person who was like that in your life, you'd call them an asshole.
Right.
I'm not saying he's an asshole.
No, yeah.
But
you're not.
yeah. And I had this, last week I was up, and I'm like, motherfucker, I can't believe I'm up right now so early. And I'm like, this is just the days of sleeping in are over.
Yep.
You just have to accept that. It's just, there's nothing you can do about it.
Which is the realization we had with newborns, but now we're having
I didn't
it again.
realize at 4 it would still be happening.
Yeah.
That's the thing that is so overwhelming, is like,
Yeah.
this never goes away.
No, it doesn't go away. And so now it's just like, we're just going to have to I'm going to have to force myself to go to bed at like 10:30 every night.
Yep.
I don't know how I'm going to do it, but there's no other way. And the indulgent thing of being able to wake up whenever, just those days are fucking gone. It's I honestly, like I told on this show, I've said people like it's so rewarding to have kids. I'm so sorry. Do not do it. Don't have kids. Live your life. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I do wonder if
The love is a trick of nature. It's like, oh, I love my kid so much. Yeah, that's a thing that's happening in my brain. It's like I've been brainwashed.
I do wonder for people who have kids in their 20s, is it different?
God, how do people do that?
I know
Oh,
it's different,
well, no,
but not
I
necessarily better. Like it's going to have different pluses and minuses.
Yeah,
we have more patience.
Yeah, no, I
That's-
think emotionally, mentally, I think it's great to be an older parent because I just was so like slow to wake up.
But I have
think.
less energy.
But
like
the energy is what
if I was in
Got
my
you,
20s,
got you,
I'd be
yep.
like, let's go throw the ball in the park and let's da 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 da. And I'm just like, if it's my day, like Saturday, guess what they're doing all day?
They're on their iPads.
They're lying around. We might do some crafts. It's like I ain't going to the fucking park and
We
running
took
around.
them to Michael's though.
Yeah, I'll
That's
take them
pretty
out.
good.
Yeah, I take them to Michael's and get crafts.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's I'm not like we're not going to the batting cages and shit. Like fuck that. I'm raising some nerds,
My wife is like so anti-TV. I'm and anti-screens. I'm just like, oh, like
That's hard.
I mean, she tours. Like I'm alone with her. I'm a single dad for weeks
So
at
does
a
she
time.
not do any screens? I mean, that's really good.
We do.
It's
I mean, she does screens. She gets 30 minutes a day at night. So it's like a wind down. So she does do screens, but it's like during the day. Like I got to be where I'm like, when Sarah's gone, I'm like, hey, Sarah, like we're doing a movie day this afternoon. Sorry. And she's like, that's great. Like she gets it. She knows.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a lot,
It's
man.
hard.
all this talk of childhood and stuff. This year is going by so fast. Father's Day is coming up, and this year I want to give my dad, well, I've already given it to my dad, so maybe I'll give it to you, Daniel, a gift that is truly unique and meaningful, a gift that will make him feel special and loved, and that's why I'm giving him Storyworth. I really did give Storyworth to my dad.
Yeah, you got to give it
I'm
to
a
your dad.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Storyworth. It is such a cool thing. It's an online service that helps you and your loved ones preserve precious memories and stories for years to come. It's a thoughtful and meaningful gift that connects you to those who matter most. So here's the deal. They send a story prompt or question to the person you give it to weekly, and then that person sends in their response or calls it in, and then Storyworth collects all those stories. And at the end of the year, you have a hardbound book of memories. It's such a wonderful gift.
I wish this existed when my grandfather was still alive. I remember in his final years, I would go visit and I would just be trying to suck stories out. And because when they're gone, they're gone. Like this would have been so amazing.
Yeah, it's a great gift. It's a great heirloom. And also, I've said before, but I'll say it again. I have the kind of dad who I was sure I'd heard every single. He's like, did I ever tell you the? It's like, yes. I was sure I knew every story, but because of this, I learned things that like I'd never heard about his, odd jobs he had as a little kid.
When he ran the brothel in France.
Yes, I never knew about that.
Yeah.
His learning to drive, stuff like that. Just like a lot of little details and things that I never knew. Give all the dads in your life a unique, meaningful gift you'll all cherish for years. Storyworth. Right now, for a limited time, you'll save $10 on your first purchase when you go to storyworth.com/bestfriend. That's Storyworth, STORYWORTH.com/bestfriend to save $10 on your first purchase. Storyworth.com/bestfriend. Okay, let me see where we are. Okay, Tony.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of want to hear about your wrestling yesterday, but then I saw something today, like a secret, this guy who had worked at Disney, his NDA expired, so he was telling secrets about Disneyland.
What?
Yeah. Well, let's hear about, you went to New Japan. How was your wrestling experience yesterday?
It was fun. Yeah.
Wait, was Tony wrestling? His wrestling experience?
No, he went to a wrestling.
Oh, you went to a wrestling.
I went to see some wrestling. Yeah, went to see New Japan. I'd never been to a New Japan show.
What is that like a?
It's like
company that's from
it's
Japan.
like
Are they affiliated with AEW in some way?
They work together a lot.
Yeah,
They'll
because I've
do
seen some
things with you.
crossover
In fact,
stuff.
there were some AEW people on the show yesterday.
We're there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a mix because I don't follow New Japan super closely, so like there was some people I like had heard of but wasn't familiar with, and then some people I'm just totally not familiar with. But then again, there were some AEW people there.
Which
and,
AEW people were there?
John Moxley,
Oh.
Wheeler Yuta, Willow Nightingale. Was that it? I think. Oh, and Juice Robinson, which
He
I
was
think is
just
a hilarious
on
name.
AEW.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one yet.
Is their style different? Do they have like their own house style?
A little bit, but it wasn't anything like too remarkably different. No, but it was a good time. It was in Long Beach at this place called the Walter Pyramid. Literally a pyramid from the
I didn't
outside.
know there was a pyramid
Yeah.
in Long Beach.
Pyramid Walter.
Yeah,
What
But it was-
the hell?
it was cool. I loved like the size. It was like a bigger event, but not like. Not as big as like going to like the Forum,
Right.
but like much bigger than going to like an indie show or something. But it was like really nice to like go to like a bigger thing and like just easily walk outside, get to your car, and like
Ooh.
maybe like kind of like a couple of minutes of traffic, and then you're out of there.
Nice.
Like, yeah, I was like, I wish like all events were like this because I think we talked about this recently. I think I'm just like I'll make some exceptions here and there, but overall, I think I'm just over huge events.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
such a pain in the ass.
It's awful.
yeah.
Yeah, when
Like-
when Jackie was talking about the Taylor Swift stuff, I was just thinking like,
Yeah.
there are bands I love and that I've considered spending a lot of money to see, and I always go,
Mhm.
I fucking hate
Yeah.
everything about going to a big concert.
Yeah.
Like, other than the concert.
Yeah. That's like I'm like, how much would it cost to helicopter me in?
Yeah.
Because it's like we went to a Dodger game like a month ago, and it was just a fucking night. And like I live pretty close to Dodger Stadium, and so we're like, we'll just take an Uber. It'll
Yeah.
be easier.
Yeah.
And we did, and it was easy getting there. But then like leaving, then we pull up Uber, and it was like $100 to get home, and we're like, no. So we just like walked for a little while, and then eventually we're able to get
I
the
will
price
say,
down a lot.
They have the rail now will stop at like Expedition Park. So if you wanted to take the
Oh.
train, you could just take it right to the Coliseum or to any of the arenas around there. Just
Okay.
some of
All
them,
right.
yeah.
Good to know.
I don't know about the Forum though.
Yeah.
How is it they still not have Dodger Stadium figured out?
Yeah.
I mean, like by the way, there are 100 games a week at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Really?
During baseball season,
Yeah.
it never ends
Yeah.
because these motherfuckers don't play a game and call it. They play 7 games or 6 games. Like it's a series.
Yeah.
They play that first game and are like, that's not good enough. Let's do this again 3 or 4 more times, and then we'll decide who
Weren't they
won.
talking about a gondola that would go up to Dodger Stadium?
There, yes, and there's like a lot of like pushback. I don't know what the deal is.
I don't know either.
I don't know any of the details.
I know that Elon Musk's company, the tunnel company, was like going to. It's the Boring Company.
Boring company,
Oh.
yeah.
And they were going to make a tunnel, which is like, wow, this guy does tunnels. It's amazing, man of the future. And it was going to go like 1 mile. It was to Dodger Stadium. Like, who cares about a tunnel to Dodger Stadium if it's 1 fucking
Now
mile?
all the traffic is just to that place a
Yeah.
mile away.
Yeah, like, no, we need like a high speed rail or some shit that goes to Dodger Stadium.
Mhm.
Like they have
That's-
it in Philly and stuff.
Well,
where
I
you
think
can just
even
take
like
the train.
Angels Stadium. I think if you go to a Angels game, I think there's like a train stop that basically
It does.
drops you off at the stadium. pretty
brilliant.
much.
Also,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it is mind blowing to me. LAX just got a goddamn train.
Is it finally there now?
It's like just happening. It's 2023.
I know it
Yeah.
is.
This
it
is a
insane.
conversation that's been happening for 700 years. You couldn't put in a train to the airport?
to one of the biggest
It's
airports.
fucking crazy. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it's the
is-
worst place on earth.
it
I
is
have to go there tomorrow morning.
an
and I'm not
absolute
excited
nightmare.
about it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And I've heard doing rideshare from LAX has become
It's a
real
fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Why
you,
is that?
you have to take a shuttle to this separate lot?
Oh, have they moved it off site?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's
And
like
then-
right where you come in, like when you first come into the airport, that first beginning of the loop, there's a parking lot right before the airport. That's where it is.
I wish Burbank Airport flew to everywhere.
Man,
Burbank
yeah,
is
no,
the
it's the
greatest.
best.
Yeah.
They have like
I'm so bummed I'm not flying out
valet.
of Burbank.
Where are you flying to?
New Jersey.
Is it just a one-off show?
Yeah. we're
What's
doing
the
a
festival?
Adjacent festival.
Nice.
What's it? Is
really-
it adjacent to a different festival?
Well, I think that it's I don't even know if the festival still happens, but they used to do that festival Bamboozle in New Jersey, and I think I may be
was
wrong
like
about this, but I think the same people kind of have now started this festival. First time I've done it. I think it's happened before, but we've
So
never played.
the length of your trip is because you guys are doing rehearsals and stuff first?
Yeah, because it's I guess compared to previously, it's not that long, but we haven't done anything since September, and and then after these last couple of years, like I feel so like I was starting to pack a little bit earlier today, and I was like, how many tubas do I pack? Like I don't like what do I do? How do people live?
Yeah. Tour life is like a thing. Like you have to. It's like a
'Cause
different lifestyle.
I
Wait,
used
is
to
a
not-
tuba a drum thing, or are you making
no,
a joke?
I'm just making it super like just because like my brain's like how do I
Right,
live
right.
on,
goes
on
in
the
this
road?
bag. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I used to do it so much
Yeah.
that like I could pack in like 3 minutes and not think twice about anything,
Right.
and I'm so like out of practice now that it all just feels so foreign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it now that you have a live-in lady, or do you feel different about heading out on tour?
Yeah, it is. It'll be. It's one of those things. Yeah, I'm like feeling good at home now. I was like, yeah, I kind of don't want to go, but at the same time, I know once I'm there and we do it, it'll be really fun and it'll be good for me because I always like we were talking about the stuff that you do that you enjoy makes you feel good. Like that's what drums and shows do for me.
Yeah.
that I forget too easily, I think. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but yeah, it'll be a quick one. So I'm in and out.
So go ahead.
It's so funny that like there are people that just like their whole life they're like, if I could just do one big show.
Yeah,
But when you did it for a living, it's gone. You like after a few tours, you're like this again. It's like must be a lot to realize like, oh, I actually like doing
Yeah,
this.
which it's nice where we are now because we're very much just a sometimes band these days. So it's like we'll go do a little bit and never out for too long or anything. Because I found as I've gotten older too, I found that like 3 weeks is like max for me now. Where it's like after that 3-week point, it starts to become like I'm ready to go home.
Yeah.
Guys, this has been so much fun. The last week I put a tease at the end, and this week I'm putting a tease. Tune in next week to hear the Disneyland secret that I heard on TikTok. Who knows if it's true or not? I'll tell you after. Don't worry.
I cannot wait.
Yeah. Todd, where might we find you?
I'm gonna do the same plugs as I did last
Yeah.
week. I lost my phone. My band is called God Collider, which might have something to do with my relationship to religion. And the tour is we're opening for a band called Zao. They're an old hardcore band, actually an old Christian hardcore band.
Oh.
They're not Christian anymore. But June 8th through June 18th, and it's on the West Coast, San Diego, Phoenix, Albuquerque, those things, the West Coast. And so doing that, and then Angel City Lumber is where I am now, where we do local trees that fall in Los Angeles. We turn into lumber. Check out the story on Ologies, featuring Jeff Perry from Angel City Lumber.
Lovely, Daniel.
Follow me on Instagram, Daniel Quantz, and on Blue Sky at Daniel Quantz, where I do nothing, but I will
Any moment you
one
could start.
day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tony, what about you?
Twitter and Instagram at
Tony Thaxton.
and Bizarre Albums every Tuesday. And I realized, we talked about this festival that I'm playing, but by the time this comes out, that'll have already happened. So if you were there, let me know how we were.
Let me know too. And if you like what you're hearing, please make sure you're subscribed, leave us a comment, click 5 stars, etc. Follow me on social media at Allison Rosen on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky. And I'm on TikTok, the Allison Rosen. I already mentioned Patreon, but also, did I already mention Todd and my show on this episode?
I don't think so.
Okay. New podcast alert. Todd, Allison and Todd After Hours.
Not this Todd.
Different Todd.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're gonna figure this out.
Yeah. It is my new podcast that I'm doing with Todd Perry, where I do sometimes gossip about former coworkers, and we have a lot of fun, and we talk about all sorts of stuff. And if you're interested in that, You can get that at patreon.com/Allison and Todd. It's just $2 a month. There's only one level. Okay, you guys, thank you.
That the last storms that we had, there was a massive old tree at a park here in Burbank that fell and crushed some playground equipment. Do you guys get that tree?
We get some of those. City trees we don't get as much because they go to a different place. But like trees that fall in people's house, like near people's houses, we get private trees.
Nice.
Yeah. It's cool that it's all that wood is like really pretty. It turns out we don't have to ship it from across the country. Los Angeles has a lot of beautiful wood. Good lumber here.
Speaking of Todd, okay, so the pastor that he met in Hawaii looks like Seth Rogen, had a beard, knowledgeable of Taoism, and a big Stern fan, Nordic-looking wife.
Nordic wife.
Sounds like no one's coming to your mind immediately.
No.
Hey, you know, they say Nordic wife, Nordic life.
On that note, thank you guys so much. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show?